dream it all. Listen close and join my song. Gentle stories all night long. Snuggle in and rest your head. Magic dreams will now be spread. Close your eyes so calm and bright. Now begins our dream. Begins our dream tonight.
Lulu and the Dreamsmith's Forge. The twilight air was warm and hushed, painted in shades of amber and rose. Lulu wandered through a meadow where the sun and moon seemed to share the same sky, neither day nor night, just a long breath between them. The breeze carried a faint metallic hum, like a heartbeat hidden beneath the wind. Curious, Lulu followed it past tall grass and wild flowers that shimmered faintly with dew. At the end of the meadow, she found a small forge built beneath an ancient oak. Its chimney exhaled only a curl of smoke, too weak to rise. The anvil beside it gleamed faintly, though no hammer struck its surface. The air smelled of starlight and metal dust. Lulu stepped closer, her wool brushing softly against the warm stones. "Hello?" she called gently. From the shadows emerged a fox with fur the color of old gold and eyes that flickered like embers. He nodded politely, his voice deep and kind. "I am Taryn, the Dreamsmith. I forge the shapes of dreams, hope into lanterns, laughter into wind chimes, courage into small bright stars. But the forge has gone cold. The heart fire that once burned here has dimmed. And without it, no dream can be made whole." Before Lulu could speak, a spark of light drifted down from above. It wasn't a falling star, but a glowing dragonfly whose wings shimmered like molten glass. She hovered around Lulu's ears before landing lightly on the fox's paw. "And I," she chimed, her voice like the ring of crystal, "am Iska. I once kept the heart fire alive, but the flame listens only to harmony, and lately, this place has known only silence." Lulu's wool quivered as she looked between them. "Then maybe I can help you bring it back," she said softly. "If we can find what made the fire sleep, we can wake it again." Taryn's eyes warmed with hope. The fire was born from song and purpose. If we can find its lost notes, perhaps the forge will breathe again. The golden fox placed a small shard of cooled metal in Lulu's hoof. It was shaped like a broken star. "This is a fragment of the heart fire. If you can make it glow once more, the forge will live." Lulu tucked the shard close to her chest, feeling its faint warmth. The air around them seemed to stir, the forge waiting, the oak listening. Somewhere deep within the coals, a single ember blinked faintly, as if it had heard her promise. The forge was quiet except for the slow ticking of cooling metal. Lulu stood beside the anvil, watching the last ember pulse faintly within the ashes. It was so small she could barely tell if it still breathed. "It's weak," she murmured, "but not gone." Taryn stepped beside her, placing his golden paw on the stone hearth. "The heart fire listens," he said softly, but it no longer remembers what warmth feels like. He lifted his hammer, beautiful, though dulled by time, and tapped it once on the anvil. The sound rang out, hollow and sad, echoing into the oak's roots. From the rafters above, Iska fluttered down, her wings trailing small sparks that landed like fireflies. "It needs music," she said, her voice delicate but firm. "Once, this forge sang as we worked. Each hammer strike, each flame, each breath was part of the dream's rhythm." Lulu tilted her head. "Then maybe we can find the song again." Taryn nodded slowly. The heart fire was born from 3 voices: the hammer's rhythm, the flame's dance, and the melody of hope. He looked at Lulu with kind eyes. "Would you lend us yours?" Lulu's will prickled with a quiet thrill. "I can try," she said. Iska began to hum, her wings vibrating in soft harmony. Tiny sparks shimmered around her, swirling in slow circles like glowing dust. Taryn lifted his hammer again and struck once, this time with care. The sound rang clear, deeper, steadier. Lulu listened to the rhythm, clink, hum, and then she began to sing. Her voice rose softly, no stronger than a whisper, but filled with warmth. She sang not of power, but of comfort, of safe nights, of gentle dreams, of hands that held instead of hurt. The forge answered with a faint glow. The ember in the hearth trembled, then brightened, golden and alive. Taryn's eyes widened. "It hears you." Lulu sang louder, still tender, and the air warmed. The smell of metal softened into sweetness, like rain on stone. Flames curled from the coals, licking upward with a sigh of relief. Iska fluttered above the fire, her wings blazing orange. Yes, yes, that's it. It remembers its song. But then the light wavered, sputtering like a candle in the wind. The warmth faltered. Taryn frowned. Something's still missing. The fire remembers the song, but not its purpose. Lulu lowered her head. "Then we need to show it why it was born." The fox and the dragonfly exchanged a look of understanding. "To the cavern of echoes," Taryn said gravely. "Where the first dream was forged, there we'll find the fire's heart." Lulu pressed the glowing shard against her chest again. It was warmer now, alive, but fragile. She nodded. "Then let's find where the first dream began." Outside, twilight deepened, and the stars began to hum faintly in answer. The path to the cavern wound through a sleeping forest. Moonlight filtered through the leaves in soft ribbons, and every few steps the sound of Lulu's hooves echoed like distant chimes. The shard she carried glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. Taryn led the way, his golden fur flickering with the forge's reflected memory. "This forest remembers the first dream," he said quietly. "Before the forge was built, before the stars even had names, a single spark fell from the heavens and hid itself in this place. That spark became the heart fire." Iska hovered close to Lulu, leaving trails of golden dust behind her. The cavern amplifies everything, she explained. Thoughts, songs, even silence. We must be careful. The echoes will mirror our hearts. If we carry fear, the fire will retreat. But if we bring peace, it will bloom. Lulu listened to her words and breathed deeply. The air smelled of moss and rain. She tried to keep her heart calm, though it fluttered like a moth's wing. Soon they reached a wide clearing where the earth opened into a yawning cave mouth. Faint threads of light spilled out, dancing along the ground like liquid fire. As they entered, the walls shimmered with reflections of the past, memories of dreams long forged, a child's courage in the dark, a song shared between friends, the quiet joy of belonging. The echoes seemed alive, whispering softly as they walked. Deeper within, they found a circular chamber. In the center rested a shallow pool of molten glass, glowing with pale gold. Around it were fragments of broken tools and cooled drops of silver fire. Terran stepped forward reverently. Here's where the first dream was shaped into light. He set his hammer down beside the pool, bowing his head. But the forge's heart sleeps. We must awaken it. Iska circled above, her wings scattering sparks into the molten surface. Ripples spread, each one forming faint shapes, stars, lanterns, faces smiling in sleep. It still remembers what it once created, she whispered. Lulu approached the edge, the shard in her hoof pulsing brighter. It's reacting, she said. It knows we're here. She set the shard carefully into the pool. It sank slowly, leaving behind a trail of silver light. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the chamber trembled, a low tone rising from the molten glass like a deep bell. The reflections on the walls stirred, blending into flowing scenes of light and shadow. Lulu gasped. It's showing us dreams. Visions surrounded them, children laughing beneath glowing skies. Soft creatures curled in sleep, places filled with peace. But beneath the beauty, a darker echo stirred, a flicker of fear, a tremor of loneliness. The chamber dimmed. Terran's voice grew firm. It tests us. The fire cannot be reborn from joy alone. It must remember sorrow and still choose to shine. Lulu took a step forward. The warmth licked at her wool. Then let it see, she whispered, that even sadness can glow. The shard in the pool brightened, rising from the molten surface, burning now with pure white fire. The cavern filled with music, soft, vast, and endless. Iska's wings flared brilliantly. It's awakening. But as the light grew, the ground began to shake. The fire's song was too strong for the fragile cavern. We must guide it back to the forge before it consumes this place, Terran cried. Lulu nodded, gripping the glowing shard between her hooves. Its light didn't burn her, it pulsed in rhythm with her heart. Then let's carry it home. Together, the three friends turned toward the tunnel, the reborn flame lighting their way through the dark. The tunnel back to the surface twisted like the inside of a shell, glowing faintly from the light Lulu carried. The shard had transformed. It no longer looked like metal but like living flame, warm yet gentle against her wall. Each pulse of its glow cast moving shadows along the cavern walls, and the whispers of sleeping dreams followed in its wake. Taryn trotted beside her, his golden fur reflecting the firelight. "Keep your steps steady," he said softly. "The flame is listening. It grows stronger with calm, weaker with haste." His voice held no command, only care. Iska darted ahead, leaving a sparkling trail that marked the way. Her wings hummed in a rhythm that echoed the forge's song, the faint whir-whir blending with the low beat of Lulu's heartbeat. "We're almost out," she called, her voice like the ringing of a bell in water. But the deeper echoes of the cavern stirred restlessly. The light of the shard had awakened old shadows, fragments of forgotten dreams that hadn't found rest. They slipped through the cracks like drifting smoke, whispering, "You will lose it again, all light fades." Lulu's steps faltered. The whispers brushed her wall, cool and heavy. "It's trying to make me afraid," she said. Taryn looked back, eyes glowing fiercely. "That's what shadows do, they echo fear, not truth." He struck his hammer once against the stone floor. The sound rang through the tunnel like thunder, breaking the whispers apart. "Keep your heart steady, Lulu. The light you carry was born from courage." Encouraged, Lulu took a deep breath and began to hum again, the same melody she'd sung when the forge first stirred. Her voice was small, but the flame responded instantly, pulsing brighter, pushing the darkness back. Iska joined her, wings vibrating in harmony, scattering tiny sparks ahead like breadcrumbs of starlight. "You see?" she called, her voice glowing with joy. "The fire doesn't only follow warmth, it becomes warmth when it's loved." The shadows retreated, the air clearing. They reached the mouth of the cavern just as dawn began to stain the horizon with pink and gold. The world outside glowed softly, as though it too had been waiting for their return. Lulu blinked in the growing light. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Even the morning feels alive again." Taryn smiled, his expression full of quiet pride. "Because the heart fire is awake and it knows where it belongs." He motioned to the forge waiting beneath the ancient oak. Its stones were cold, but as the three approached, the coals shimmered faintly, sensing the returning flame. Lulu stepped forward, holding the glowing shard close. "You're home," she whispered to the flame. "We carried your song through the dark." The shard flared, bright enough to paint the leaves in gold. The moment Lulu placed the glowing shard back into the forge, the air trembled. The coals stirred as if drawing a deep breath for the first time in ages. Then, with a sound like the sigh of dawn, the heart fire bloomed. Flame poured upward in spirals of gold and white, filling the small workshop with warmth that felt alive. The firelight wasn't harsh. It pulsed gently, its glow spreading across the walls, climbing the oak's branches, and spilling through the open windows like a tide of sunrise. The forge sang a deep, steady tone that filled the valley. Taryn stood before it, his hammer resting in his paw. His golden fur shimmered as he whispered, "Welcome home, old friend." He lifted his hammer once more and struck the anvil, not to shape metal but to greet the fire's rhythm. The note rang pure and bright, merging with the hum of the flame. Iska hovered above them, her wings a blur of orange and silver. She laughed softly, and each beat of her wings scattered sparks that took shape, tiny dream lanterns drifting through the air like glowing petals. "It remembers," she cried. "The forge remembers its purpose." Lulu stood still, eyes wide, her wool aglow in the warm light. Around her, the air was alive with soft music, part heartbeat, part melody, part promise. She could feel it. The dreams that had waited in silence now began to stir again, ready to be forged anew. Taryn turned to her, his gaze gentle. "Without you, the heart fire would still be sleeping. You brought back its song, the kindness that holds every dream together." Lulu blushed beneath her wool. "I only sang what I felt," she said softly. "I just wanted it to know it wasn't alone." The fox smiled, and that was enough. They stood together in the forge's glow. Outside, dawn fully bloomed, the first rays of sunlight mingling with the gold of the heart fire until it was impossible to tell where one ended and the other began. The heart fire roared softly, but not in fury. It was a living warmth, spreading calm through every corner of the workshop. The coals glowed with gentle life, and the anvil shone like a sleeping star. Iska landed lightly on Lulu's nose, her small body radiating light. Now the forge will never fall silent again. As long as someone believes in a dream, its fire will keep singing. Lulu's eyelids grew heavy. The warmth wrapped around her like a blanket. She lay down on the cool floor, her head resting near the base of the forge. The hum of the heart fire sounded almost like a lullaby. Taryn watched over her as the morning light deepened, then murmured, "Sleep well, little dream bringer." Lulu smiled faintly, eyes half closed. "I think the forge is dreaming too," she whispered. And as the light danced softly around her, she drifted into sleep, safe, warm, and wrapped in the song of the reborn forge.
Now it's quiet, night is near. Drift away through stars so clear. Lulu whispers soft and bright. Sleep so well and good night. Sweetest dreams will softly flow. Lulu stays with you, you know. Till we meet again, my dear. Let your dreams keep drawing near. Till we meet again, my dear. Let your dreams keep drawing